And I've made myself a cup of tea, and it is delicious. Let's double check this real fast. Okay, good. Alright, welcome back to another Pong Plays. I'm your host, Sensei-pong, and today we're playing Within, which is available on Steam, and I'll assume it's on other visual novel sites. It's free to play. I decided on playing this one. I haven't played it yet, and I was kind of waiting to do a blind gameplay with it, but I decided to play this because it got really good reviews. It seems like a funny premise. Also, if you're interested, Within 2 is coming out soon, and I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be free to play as well. I don't know, it's probably going to be longer than this one. This one's relatively short, but to keep this gameplay short, we'll just carry on and go. Let's hit start. There you go. Right, sweet. 50, 50, 50! The chants of my fans echoed through the doors in front of me. Move the mouse out of the way, because I don't think I need it. One of my 2 bodyguards wrapped his hand around the doorknob. Please prepare yourself, Miss Venti. Once I open the store, we'll head straight for our limo. Venti has left the building. The guard had no reason to fret. I had long since grown used to these crowds. Still, I nodded to put him at ease. After taking a deep breath, he pushed the door open. No one was there. The crowd of hundreds raised their cameras as soon as I stepped out. My guards waved their arms to shoo them away. This red carpet was for me to walk on, after all. I blew a kiss for these star-struck peasants. Miss Venti, please, let us hurry, my bodyguard said. Too bad for him, I strutted along like a model on a catwalk. A group of reporters managed to worm through the crowd. Now they tiptoed over my guards in hopes of scoring that exclusive. Venti, how does it feel to have won another Calligrapher of the Year award? A reporter asked me. Before I could answer, another dozen people shouted over each other, hoping for my attention. Venti, may I have a photo with you? Can you sign me some autographs for my kids? And 2 for me, of course. Ah, I can't believe I'm standing this close to Vinter. I was gonna try to make a joke of Venti from Rune Factory 4, but whatever. Dude, Dr. Richtofen is now playing War Thunder. He's always playing War Thunder. What the... I don't like recording games with Steam Bootstrapper on because of those little pop-ups and be like, hey, you got to think about it. My friend stamped on the dirty shoes all over the red carpet. Finally, the bodyguards pulled out their pepper sprays to keep the fans in check. No. Pepper spray doesn't work as well as tear gas, which apparently does not go against the Geneva Convention of Chemical Warfare. Wrap your head around that one. A young male reached in my direction despite having... If I was... I'd probably get in trouble, but if I ever reached like celebrity status, I would try to use tear gas. Direction despite having a spray aimed at his face. Rather admirable for a peasant. Extended a hand for this male fan to kiss. Unfortunately for him, he fainted at the sight of my perfectly polished nails. I'm going to try to use the most manly voice I can with this. I reached my limousine at last. My bodyguard opened the door for me, and as I climbed in, my trailing fans snapped as many photos as they could. Miss Venti! Miss Venti! The crowd chanted as my car window pulled up. How odd. They never referred to me as Miss. Oh, my graceful presence must have been too much for their sanity. These poor things. Miss Venti! Miss Venti! ... I saw that coming. Oh, snap. Oh. Well, I had fun while it lasted. At least I got to ride in a limousine for a good 30 seconds. In real life, my only registered vehicle was, well, my 10-year-old bicycle. My apartment had no space for a car, anyway. 10-year-old bicycle, that's a pretty good long with a bike. A good long run with a bike. And I know what you're going to say. No, it's not, Pong. You just got to keep the maintenance in check and, change parts as you go if you need it. But I have the worst luck with bike theft. I've had, I'm going to give you at some point I'll give you a little video blog or do it on a Casual Friday or solitaire plays, if that actually becomes a thing, of all my bikes stolen and the little stories behind them. Some of them are hilarious, some of them are just, oh, my bike got stolen. But yeah, I've had 8 bikes stolen within, I don't know, the past 10 years now. That's where I live is one of the worst places in the country. It's like tied up with like New York City. Actually, the single room was cracked. With cracked walls might be an insult to the word apartment. Like literally, there were chains and those kryptonite bars hooked up to it. That was the funniest one. And dude, I didn't get even mad with that. I just gave the dude props for going through like two actual chains, 3 cables, 2 U-bars, because I was like, man, this is a nice bike. I don't want it stolen. I've had my bad luck with bikes before, and boom, it was gone. I went to work, I came back. That's when I had a car. Came back. Bike bars right there next to my apartment. I see it. It's like, okay. I thought it was funny. I was just like, okay. Well then, good job. Pull up those curtains for a spectacular $1 view, featuring a sewage pipe and a wall tainted with yellow. Ew. Just open the window if you wish to smell the sewage as well. A breathtaking experience. By the way, sorry, I need to take back the 1 room thing. This place actually had 2 rooms, thank you very much. The second room happened to be a toilet. That still counted, right? The toilet clogged 3 times a month, so be careful when using it. Ew. Miss Venti, Miss Venti. No. A woman's voice echoed from outside. She was no fan, but rather my landlady. I glanced over at my clock, 6 a.m. Waiting another hour or 2 would have been nice. She probably just wanted me to tell me about another rent rise. Nothing good ever came out of that woman's mouth. I would be better off staying in bed. Rise and shine, or stay in bed. Oh, I forget how that saying goes. Earlier rise, brighten eyes, only to end in your own demise. I know that's not how it goes, but I was trying to think of a rhyme. Let's do that. Coming! As I changed into something more appropriate, the landlady still kept knocking. I said I was coming, didn't I? Maybe I should walk out naked if that was what she dug. If this were a game, we might get a sale boost, too. Good morning, Miss Venti, the landlady said. Oh, I love this music. Why is it like ragtimey? I don't think it really fits with the old lady. She looks kind of angry for such happy music, the landlady said. I must ask, what's with that hair? It looks like you just woke up. That's because I did. It's a waste for young ladies like you to sleep away your youth, the landlady shook her head. She had no right to preach me like this. I wanted to tell her, but decided against it, as doing so would give her an excuse to lecture me further. With her size, if I enraged her, she would squash me into a Vinny-flavored pancake. Miss Venti, your rent was due 3 days ago. Oh, well, at least there was no rent increase. So sorry, madam. My next paycheck will come after tonight's shift, so I'll pay you first thing tomorrow morning. Oh, I haven't been keeping track of the clock. Alright. Now I'm looking at the clock. Okay. Whatever. The landlady grunted. Alright, just know that if this keeps up, you'll have to find somewhere else to live. Ew. She spun around to leave. Once she disappeared behind the corridor, I kicked my door shut, causing a piece of my cracked wall to fall off. I tried shoving the piece back into place. My effort resulted in more wall fragments flaking off. Yay. Great. The landlady would make me pay for the next month. Once I became an accomplished calligrapher, she would beg for a chance to shine my shoe. Hey, I sounded a bit ranty before, but that was never my intention. A lot of famous people had humble beginnings. I would follow in their footsteps, but first, I need to put in the work. Now, I don't mean to break any spirits to any, American audience here, but this seems like a very Japanese thing, but to be a successful calligrapher, you can't live in the States. You just can't. That's not going to happen. It's definitely more of a Japanese or Asian art. I don't know any famous calligraphers in the States. They just stuff. It's called Adobe Photoshop has killed an art style without within. Oh, well, I might have skipped something. And so I returned the busiest street in my area. With my calligraphy spread before me, I sat on the concrete and rested my back against the fence. Car horns blared behind me, mixed with people shouting things about each other's mothers. These cars kept expelling fumes that made me choke, just one of the many things I dealt with in the name of art. Pedestrians took up almost every inch of space on the street ahead. Surely this would be the day when somebody spotted my talent. As always, no one afforded me anything more than a passing glance, and my will soon dwindled. Let me be honest, I never expected to be showered with praise by every head who passed here. What was that old saying, 10% of the people you reached out to will buy your work? I could live with that. Even just 1%, please. Anything but 0. I wanted to scream at these people. They had no idea how much sweat I poured into these calligraphies. Are we going to persevere or rant? Well, you know what? Oh my gosh, I'm doing bad with the sayings today. What was that? Patience is a virtue. Let's say that. Persevere. I decided to keep these displeasures to myself. People often said patience would be rewarded. Exactly. I wondered if my patience would ever become worthwhile. Probably not. Just as I thought this, a man paused to look at my calligraphies. He had a bucket of fried chicken in his hand. The smell made my mouth water. Fried chicken sounds really good right now. As a man, luckily I live like just a couple blocks away from a KFC. Yeah, I know we don't have Popeyes or, what was that? Nando's. We don't have Nando's even close to here, so that's... Oh well. Northwest is Northwest, I suppose. As a man eyed my phone works one by one, I felt my cheeks heating up with anticipation. At last someone who had spared more than a moment with my works. This must be my reward. The timing could hardly be more perfect. I summoned the courage to speak with the man, but he spoke first. You're charging for these? I managed a tiny nod. The man snorted. I would never hang these on my wall even if you gave them to me for free. Seriously, this is the most shameless display I've ever seen. Oh. Trolls online were one thing. Confronting one in real life was a rarity. Judging from the man's scrawny arms, I bet I could overpower him with ease. Then he would know just how big of a blunder he had made. Oh. Should we attack? No. Should we attack or restrain? Luckily, my subscriber count is really low, and my viewership is actually really low. I don't have to deal with trolls on any basis, really. But you know, I watch a lot of YouTubers, and I see a lot of trolls, and I can understand their stuff. But I'm gonna go by what other YouTubers have said. Restrain and walk away. We'll be reserved. We'll either be awesome or it'll break us mentally. Folks always said to ignore trolls. I clenched my teeth and stayed out. After chuckling in my face, the man strutted off. Determined to prove him wrong, I continued to sit and wait for potential customers. Another 1,000 people walked by without sparing me a look. Lingering here any longer would be a waste of time. Oh. As I packed my things, I insisted I was leaving because my part-time jarb... I sound like Coach Z for a second. If you know that reference, leave a comment down below. Coach Z. I insisted I was leaving because my part-time jarb was started in an hour. Deep inside, I knew the man's words had rocked my confidence. Giving up on calligraphy would mean I had wasted all this time over nothing. Yet, if I lacked the gift, persevering might make things worse. Tears welled in my eyes, and I clenched my fists to hold them back. Speaking of tears, I heard a kid crying within the crowd. Looked like we had lost a child on our hands. Oh, we had a lost child on our hands. Some pedestrians shot him glasses, but none of them offered more than that. These really were horrible people. To cheer myself up, I told myself I would never want my calligraphies to be owned by people like that. I should help the kid, but that would mean being late for my job. Well, you know what? We'll help the kid out. We'll help the kid out. If he's lost, he's lost. And, if I judged others by abandoning a child, then did the same myself, I would be a jerk and a hypocrite. With a sigh, I walked up to the boy. There. It's okay. Did you lose your mummer? The boy was sobbing, too hard to answer. I leaned in to stroke his back with one hand and his head with the other. Let me know if you lost your mummy, okay? I'll help you find her. There's no need to be scared. The kid managed to nod at last and whispered a good boy into his ear. What's your mummy's name? Hungry. Her name is Hungry? The boy's tummy growled and I realized what he meant. Oh, well, how about I buy you a sandwich? The kid shook his head. I want ice cream. If you're hungry, don't be picky. Hey kid, ice cream is more of a dessert actually. I want ice cream. And so ice cream it was. One for him and none for me. The money came out of my pocket, of course. My poor wallet. At least this kid could have eaten the whole thing rather than let half of it melt on his shirt. Jessie, the boy said. That's my mommy's name. Jessie, I called as I strode along the street. Now people stared at me more than ever. Enough to make me blush, in fact. Maybe I should try shouting Jessie at random. Maybe I should try shouting Jessie at random the next time I sold my calligraphies. No, that's a bad idea. Then you just look like a crazy, poor artist, not a depraved artist. No, then maybe someone might actually buy it. Huh. The sky turned orange as time ticked by. Yes, I knew my shift started half an hour ago. Stop reminding me. A woman squeezed through the crowd and scurried toward us. She ran past the red light and nearly getting hit by a truck in the process. Mommy! The boy shook free of my hold and rushed into his mother's embrace. After muttering apologies to her son, the woman gazed toward me. Oh, thank you so much for your help. You're wonderful, just wonderful. The torrent of praises curled my lips into a stupid grin. Anyone would have done the same thing. Please, if there's anything I can do in return, just let me know, the mother said. Actually, there is something I need help with. The mother nodded. Anything in my power, miss. Well, which way back to the train station? The music suddenly got happy. The sky had gone dark by the time I arrived at work. I opened the restaurant door gingerly to avoid making any noise. Stealth mode switched on. They called me Ninja Venti for a reason. Miss Venti! The voice of my boss nearly made me jump into the ceiling fan. Sorry, I'm late. I want to explain, but my boss glared at me, and my tongue slurred out a bunch of syllables. My explanation was in there somewhere, probably, maybe. I received an earful from my boss, but at least I got to keep my job. Several colleagues shot me frowns for not being here during the busy period. In the end, I took all the blame without complaint. Well, at one point, I locked myself inside a toilet and screamed into the bowl. Ew! Oh, no. Don't put your head close to that toilet. I also might, a good way to get pink eye. I also might not have fantasized about dunking my workmate's head into the toilet. That's okay. That's fine. That was for me alone to know, though. At least I earned the paycheck, needed to keep my landlady quiet for another month. As for the month after that, we would see when the time came. All I wanted was to pursue my art, but reality kept pressuring me toward finding a second job. On my way home, I spotted a banner of an upcoming visual novel named Princess Aria. The game had long been hyped on every forum I knew. Amazing art along with a cast of famous voice actors. The writer and composer were big names too. Yeah, okay, this definitely takes place in Japan, because there would never be a visual novel advertised in such a way in the States. Unless you're at like a convention or something, like an anime convention or like a video game convention. Apparently Dapper J agrees. He's the baby. For Princess Aria to have an ad this big, there must be a lot of money put behind the project. Exactly, there's no money put behind visual novel projects in the States. Well, okay, yeah, there is. They have to make money somehow, but I mean, like, seriously. Okay, I'm comparing it to even something like Shovel Knight, but whatever. The way for the banner hung high gave me the sense it was extra important. Bright lights shone on the princesses. Okay, I'm not trying to, like, put down visual novels in any way. Let's get that clear. I like visual novels, as long as they're written well. But, also, if visual novels ever become a serious thing in the States, I give it maybe, this is a real shot in the dark, another 5-8 years, because it's catching on Steam, so it's going to have its own little niche market. It'll be, at the biggest, maybe, like, the same group size as, like, let's say RTS strategy and turn-based strategy games like, I don't know, maybe not like the big ones like Civilization, but you know what I mean. I don't know. It's not going to be like the main forefront of whatever. You know what I mean. Bright lights, I'm drinking water. Also, I just like this music. It's all happy and stuff. Bright lights shone on the princess's face to impress potential players. Yes, that was what I really needed. If I had a banner like that, no doubt people would line up to buy my calligraphy. I could really imagine how folks would react as I walked along the streets. Oh, I missed it. Oops. Something was said. Wow, no way, you mean the famous calligrapher I see on all those banners? Yeah, she must be really good. Maybe we should ask for her autograph. My agent would then step in to speak on my behalf. Please line up in an orderly fashion, everyone. Where have I used that voice in Sci-Hi. How much for an autograph? Shut up and take my money. My agent nodded in response. Autographs are available for $100. Thanks. Oh, ew. No, not $100. That's terrible. That'd be $100. Thanks. The game shop's owner said. Aria Princess cost twice what I had predicted. If I had bought the game, I would have too little left for rent. I opened my wallet, hoping I might have more cash on hand than I realized. Turned out I had less, actually. I hung my head, and the storekeeper sighed. His arched brows pressured me into buying a game. I did ride these trains to get here. Might as well pick up something. I told the shopkeeper how much money I had, and he shook his head. The store owner pulled out a different game from under his table. He brushed away the dust on it so I could see the cover. The title read, Sunflower War. Some visual novel game. Some visual novel about the battlefield. Copyright 1997. The bottom read, no wonder it was so cheap. Art by InvertMouse. Whoever the heck that was. That's funny. Okay, so this game is developed by a developer that goes by the name InvertMouse. So that's why I thought it was funny. Oh hey, Bermuda is in the background. If you could see that bottom right, I'm hoping this cursor shows up in the recording. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But over here, next to the right of the shopkeeper's head, that's another visual novel game if you're interested in. It's actually not free to play. It is available on Steam. It's like a weird puzzly visual novel. Haven't played it yet because I was going to try to do a blind gameplay of that. Anywho, whatever. The front cover would fit perfectly in the kindergarten classroom. I flipped the case to see what was highlighted on the back. This game supported up to 640 by 480 resolution. Truly the pinnacle of technology. Pfft, it was not. The shopkeeper grimaced. He must have sensed I wanted to say no. His stare made my palms stain with sweat, and I ended up buying the game. Dealing with folks like that had always been a weakness of mine. Remind me to never visit that store again. Without with it. With heavy strides, I returned to my apartment. 0 calligraphy sales. Late for work and with rent topped off by blowing cash on some game I had no interest in. What I really wanted to play was Princess Aria. Forcing myself to suffer anything else would just upset me further. And with that, let's do a quick save. Bink! I'm gonna say this is actually a good point to cut off and wait until next time to see what happens without within. Do I become a famous calligrapher? I'm gonna say probably not, but you know what? It's good to hope for these kind of things. Yeah, I get all like, I'm the most like un-OCD person when it comes to just anything in general, but when it comes to save files on gameplays and recordings, I get kind of OCD with it. I just would rather have multiple saves because I have lost footage before, and it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. So for anybody that's watching that has like doesn't have the experience on YouTube, kind of like me, where like you have like less than 1,000 subscribers and you haven't actually come across this situation before. Okay, that's not fair. Let's say less than actually I'm at 49. Let's say less than 50 subscribers and you're just starting out. Be really careful with your save footage. Also, when you're editing, save all the time. Save all the time. Windows Movie Maker hasn't really crashed on me that often, but I heard Adobe Premiere, which is actually the best software to probably use, a lot of YouTubers use it, that crashes a lot. Save constantly. You do something, I even set a timer for yourself if you need to. Whatever, this is not the point of the gameplay, whatever, nobody cares. Maybe you do. Leave a comment down below if you actually care. Maybe I'll comment on it. I'll probably will because I don't get that many comments in my videos anyways. And sensei-pong signing out. Don't forget to like and subscribe.